First on my list is just a basic wooden spoon. I find that some of the spoons that they make are made with perhaps things that aren't that healthy for you. So I have been slowly converting things from those items to wood. Now I do have some spatulas and certain things still that are made out of other materials. You can use it when you're baking, you can use it when you're cooking other items on the stove, stirring meat, stirring porridge, any number of things. Always handy to have a wooden spoon at home. So that's one item. The next item is along the same line. It is a set and it comes with a spatula and a ladle. The thing that I like about this, again, slowly converting my utensils over to wooden items instead, and also checking and doing some research in terms of what kind of wood, things that will last, things that are not covered in a lot of perhaps harmful varnishes, things like that. But again, a ladle, very handy to have when you're cooking. I was doing a soup and I was actually using this also when I was sauteing the items in my pumpkin soup, I believe it was. And the ladle I like because when you're spooning out portions, obviously it's nicer to have a deeper bowl so that you can spoon things out of, you know, you're able to spoon out portions. I also find for baking certain things when I am especially needing to fill muffin cups, that type of things, these actually end up being like a nice size. It all just depends on what type of thing that you may be baking or needing to put in the ladle, whether it's going to be the right tool. But I find it's just handy because you can use it for cooking, for baking, and for serving out portions. So this set is another valuable tool. And going along with that, I have my spatula set. Now, this is this was one of the products that I needed to not only expand on, but I just needed to replace what I had. The one that I had was so old. I had had it for so long. It was very much time for it to be replaced. And I did get this set. What I did like about this set is that it does have different sizes. As you can see, it has different lengths. So if you're needing to get down into something that has maybe a narrower opening and you need to kind of get in there, it just gives, it's a very versatile set. Sometimes I find because I am meal prepping, so I have a few dishes going at the same time, I may need the spatula for more than one dish as I'm prepping my meal, and you need to rinse it off if you only have the one. So I also like the fact that I'm able to just kind of have a few things going and not having to stop to rinse things off while I'm cooking. I have enough to keep going. There are sets that in case you do not want as many, you may have some of these sizes already. So there are sets available that you can also purchase where it is not as many pieces. Now this is going to seem so basic, but I had to really laugh. I had a can opener and I'd had it for years, and eventually it started to rust, and all I wanted was to replace it. Just a simple metal can and bottle opener, and you would not believe how many stores I went into and could not find this. And I was really surprised because it's just such a basic tool. Now they did have others. It's not that they did not have any, but it's just I did not want any wood on it. I did not want plastic on it, just because when it does have those things, food particles and other things can get caught up in it, get rusting around screws, things like that, maybe a little bit faster. I just wanted a plain, simple one piece with no embellishments. Now this set that I did purchase, it did come with two, so I'm giving one of them to a family member. However, so handy. Popping open cans, and for example, here we have just a can of, and this is all. That's all I wanted. Now this actually brings me to my next item, and this little container I purchased because I needed to be able to put my carnation milk into it. I wanted the height that it was, to be able to put the carnation milk into it, to allow it to stay fresher in my refrigerator for longer. If you just open the can and don't cover it, or just put it into something with a loose top. It's, you know, it's carnation milk. It's going to spoil faster. So I wanted a container that would keep it fresher. What I liked about this is that you can squeeze that, there you go, and then you have the little opening with a spout, which I think is very convenient to reduce spills, and you can just pour it out. When you close it, you squeeze that back down, and it is sealed. It's locked. So I thought that was very, very handy. This was something that was on my list, and I was looking around for something that I felt would be able to hold the entire amount of carnation milk, because some of the containers I saw would have worked, but they were too small, and I did not think they would hold the entire can. And as you can see, now this is me using it for the first time, right? And you can, as you can see, this is me using it for the first time. And I just opened that, put that on there. Now let's make sure that I'm closing it properly so it's level. But I will turn on the side so you can see it just fit perfectly in here. So this container can hold 1 can of carnation milk. And that can of evaporated carnation milk, use it for pumpkin pie, all that lovely, lovely stuff. 354 milliliters fits in there absolutely perfectly. That is awesome. And that is what I bought it for. There may be a lot of other uses. You could use it to do a lot of other things as well, but I purchased it to be able to put my carnation milk in and keep it fresher. I probably would not, I will not be using it for the condensed milk, only because it is higher and the condensed milk is not quite as much. And so it would be needing to go down further and further as I'm scooping it out. And the amount of time it would take for that to slowly go up to the spout would just take forever. So I'm on the hunt for something smaller for that. But this could be used for any number of things. So these are, you know, so this is another thing that I just think in terms of kitchen tools and containers that make things a lot easier for you. This is something that I just think is great. And then my final 2 items, they're going to go together. And that is, I needed to replace my cutting board. I had a really old cutting board, had it for a very, very long time. It was discolored. I also hadn't done any research, and you know, I just, I needed a cutting board. I bought a cutting board, and that was it. I didn't check into the care of a cutting board, what the material is made out of for a cutting board. I did not check into any of that. And as a result, I did not take care of what I had. Plus it was plastic. So I knew it was time to get rid of that. And then I decided, well, let me look into cutting boards. Like, is there anything I should be looking for? I wanted to get a wooden cutting board instead of plastic for my general use. Now I do still have plastic, and I cut the meats on that because I don't want to cut the meat on this as well. You could, and then clean it with, I've seen people use baking soda and lemon and then clean it off, and that's supposed to be really good. But if you check, there's lots of information out there on how you can keep them clean. But I did want to get one that I could use for my general use. And I thought, if I am going to get one, I might as well get one that I liked the way it looked. And here you go. I like the way it looks. What I did like about this cutting board is that you can use both sides. It has their logo there, but they do not have anything big and really in the way on it. And so I like the fact that you can use both sides of this. Easy for me to keep clean. They do not recommend you put these in a dishwasher. You should ideally wash it, dry it. I just let it stand, lean up against once I dry it so that it dries properly. And I love using it. Now you can get larger sizes, and there are benefits to that. And as you are chopping on them, then you are able to sort of scrape to the side, and you could put a lot more things on it. I purchased the size that I felt would work for me. I still am able to, when I do chop, and you can see I've chopped on it, I eventually might get one that's a little bigger, but for now this works really, really great for me. You should every now and then be oiling your cutting board. You can oil your cutting board with cutting board mineral oil. Now it does say it's 100% food grade, and it prevents the cutting boards from drying, splitting, and cracking. And I did not know that that was a thing. I had no idea. This is not the only cutting board oil available. There are many of them out there, but this is the one that I purchased. These are just a few of the kitchen utensils, tools, and items that I have found to be helpful in the kitchen for me. I hope that this has been helpful for you, and these are just some quick kitchen resources to help make cooking a lot easier. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you soon.